What's going on, everyone? It's Sheena, aka Sheenapreneur, your favorite veteran. I want to talk to you all today about what to do right after you bid. There are 8 key components I think that are super important for you to really implement in your bidding process, because it could mean the difference between you actually being awarded a contract and not being awarded a contract. And I have an example from one of my students where she implemented a strategy that I gave her, of course, because she went through my course, and it made the difference between her winning a contract and not winning a contract. So I'm just going to get right into that example. So one of my students, she submitted for I want to say it was some sort of janitorial or cleanup type contract, and she submitted. She read through all the documentation, of course. I believe she may have not got my help on that one, but nonetheless, the girl is a superstar, okay? And so she submitted her documentation, submitted her proposal, and someone else ended up winning. I think she found that out pretty quickly, that another person won, and that the criteria for this particular opportunity was for lowest bidder. And when she looked at the person who won, and that what's called a bid tabulation came out, it showed that he was not the lowest bidder. So when she inquired with the agency why she did not win, they told her that they had never received her information. And so that was puzzling, because she's like, well, I submitted my documentation. This particular opportunity was due via email. You had to send it via email, because you have paper submissions where you can mail it or bring it hand deliver it. You have email submissions, and then also some are submitted through various portals depending on the agency. So this particular agency, they told her that they never received her information after the person had already won. And so come to find out, her and a couple other submissions went to the spam email of the person who it was supposed to receive the bid, the agency point of contact that was supposed to receive their bids, their proposals. So in their mind, only one person bid and that person won. So my student, because she followed up and reached out to the agency to ask why she did ask for a debrief, asked why she didn't win. Come to find out, she was never they never received her. She actually won that contract. So cheers to her, because that is such a significant difference between you winning a contract, and this was her first one. So winning a contract and you're like, oh my goodness, the first one I submitted, I won, and then I follow Sheena's step, and that means that now I'm able to I won my contract and I'm able to execute and make money, because that's what we're doing this for, right? So I just want to give a couple of strategies, 8 in fact, and with a couple of bonuses probably, if I feel nice and generous, for you all to do right after you bid on a contract. So number 1 is make sure that the email actually went out. Things happen, technology be doing its thing, and sometimes it works against you, unfortunately. And so you want to make sure that 1, your email that you're sending has everything that the agency is asking for. And this is kind of like before you bid, but the subject line has the opportunity number or whatever it is that they asked you to put in the subject line, and that the email, when you go to send it out, this is mainly for this is for all of them, but if you're submitting it via email, you want to make sure that the email actually was sent out in the time that it was supposed to be sent out. I've seen where there was a delay, no internet, and so the email is sitting in your outbox for forever, and you think you submitted it, you submit, and you're like, woo, that was a lot. Let me go and eat some ice cream or something to relax my mind, and the email never went out, or it went out late. So you just want to always confirm that it went out in the time that it was supposed to go out. And then when it comes to paper submission, you want to make sure that it's packaged the way that it needs to be packaged, and that you receive some sort of confirmation, whether it's a stamp from the agency saying that they received it, or write it down. I don't leave in office. If I got to hand deliver something, so if you mail it, then the confirmation is the document you get from whether it's FedEx or whatever guarantee that you're saying, FedEx or UPS or whomever, a USPS is stating that they're going to guarantee delivery at that time. So that's your receipt. But if you're hand delivering a package, a proposal, in the way that the agency wants you to deliver it, then make sure that you get some sort of confirmation. I cannot stress this enough. And it's happened to me so many times where agencies are like, okay, I got it, thanks. No ma'am. No, you need to write it. You take a picture with your face, something stating that I submitted it at this time to this location, because you have nothing else to prove that you submitted it. If you just give it to them, and I've seen where people are collecting someone that doesn't usually collect it, or the point of contact name is not the person that's collecting the proposal. They could sit on their desk all weekend. No, you write it on some kind of note on the back of their business card, something stating that Foresight Industries has submitted this proposal to whoever this person is, okay? Like, make sure that you always get a confirmation. Even if they fight you on it, be like, well, how do I know that you received it? You know, you just tell them that. Look them in their eyes and say, well, how do I know that this will be submitted to the right person? I have no way of knowing. And then a lot of times when I go to deliver this is a little sidebar, but a lot of times when I go to submit the proposals, the ones that have to be hand delivered or, you know, mailed, and it's a paper submission, I pretend like I'm not the CEO. I'm like, yeah, my boss won't let me come back without some sort of confirmation that it's been received. You know, can you write on the packet itself and write the date and the time, and I could take a picture of that? You know, that's also a way. Now, if it's submitted in a portal, then yeah, you want to make sure all the documents are uploaded. Make sure that you log into the portal early enough, way before you submit, to make sure that you have access to log into the portal. That's before you bid, but you know, once you submit your documents, you want to make sure that everything is submitted the way that it's supposed to be submitted. So that's number one, checking the email or making sure the confirmation that has been received. I always, if it's an email submission, I always ask for a request for a receipt, like a receipt or a request for confirmation. You can automatically set some of those things up in your email where it shows, like if you use HubSpot, it will show that they've actually received it. It will show like a read receipt type process, but you want to just make sure that you have some sort of confirmation. So that's number one. So number two is following up. If you're looking at the solicitation and the solicitation says all bids or whatever needs to be received by June 1st, and they have a timeline, like they have an official timeline of how they want everything to roll out, and they say June 5th all bids will be read out loud, June 10th an award will be made, and June 15th someone will start. Now if it's June 16th and you haven't heard anything, then you want to follow up. You know, you might want to follow up before that, just depending on the circumstance, but you want to follow up to ask, like, what's going on? Why, you know, I didn't get any information. I didn't get anything back. No feedback, no nothing. And a lot of times that just means that you didn't win, but they're not necessarily obligated to submit or to send the results to everyone. A lot of times agencies will, but you want to follow up just to see what the results were. And it might be on the website, and they might say, you know, it's on the website, don't call me anymore, don't email me anymore. Okay, got it. But you always want to follow up, whether it's on the website or whether it's to the point of contact that actually either received it or you're supposed to communicate with after the opportunity or the proposal has been submitted. So number three, going back to that, is monitoring the website, because there's a chance, even after you submit your proposal, even if it's you submit it via email or you submit it paper, there may be an addendum that came out even after the due date and the due time, believe it or not. So you want to monitor the website, for one, to see if there was possibly an addendum, because if you missed that addendum, let's say you submit your proposal and it was due, you submitted it in time, you go about your business, you're bidding on the next thing, and you're like, you know, you just want to check in and look on the website, you're like, oh my goodness, there was actually an addendum. Most of the time, whoever submitted a proposal, the agency will email you and let you know that there was an addendum that came out, but you can't rely on that, because this is a people business. You never know. They may have forgot, or maybe they didn't get to you. Whatever the case, you want to monitor the website just to see what the status of that proposal, that opportunity is, and it may very well be that an addendum came out or something came out, and you want to just check. And you want to also see if there's possibility that someone already won, and you want to know why. So the next thing would be if they send an email or it's on the website, right? There may be what's called a bid tabulation if you submitted for a bid. And a bid, of course, means you submitted a proposal. An RFQ, which is a request for quote, RFP, which is a request for a proposal, or ITB, invitation to bid. They're kind of similar. For the purposes of this video, I won't get into what each one specifically is, but a lot of times the agency will send what's called a bid tabulation, which is all the companies that went after this opportunity. They list out, if it's really truly based on price, for the most part, they'll send out what everyone's pricing was, whether it's a total lump sum amount or if it's each and every line item. They'll send out to each bidder or each person that submitted for the opportunity, either to your email, post it in a portal if you submitted it through a portal, or they will just post it on the website. So you want to look at that bid tabulation to see, you know, of course, when are you on there? If it depends on the timing. You may have already reached out to the agency by then, but if the bid tabulation, and this goes to, just a side note, this goes to if you're looking for pricing as well, and you're just looking at awarded contracts and you see bid tabulations. That's everyone who went after that opportunity and what their pricing was. Now, of course, if it's not an opportunity that you have gone after, or this is the one that you're trying to follow up on, and you have no idea what it's for, you can't just take that pricing and say, oh, it's janitorial, I'm going to take this pricing, because you don't know what the size and scope is. But anyway, back to these 8 things. The bid tabulation tells you, who they may highlight, the agency may highlight who they are selecting, and they may have not selected that person yet. So that's a good indicator to say, okay, well, if someone is primed to be awarded this contract, maybe I should reach out to them. Maybe I should, what is the due diligence period, I guess, for the agency? Because just because that person is considered the lowest bidder, or just because they were highlighted or selected, that doesn't mean that they're going to win the contract. Even it's like 90%, maybe it's a little higher than that, but it doesn't always mean that person who's highlighted or identified as being the lowest bidder, or whatever the case, doesn't mean they're going to win the contract. So don't just give up and say, okay, I don't even want to think about that one anymore. There's a chance that you could still win. So with that, you want to just see what company, and then you know who your competition is. I start to see the same repetitive companies over and over and over when we're doing janitorial, when we're doing landscaping, when we're doing litter pickup. It's the same companies going after the same opportunities. So then these are the companies I need to either look out for, I can partner with, whatever you choose. You just want to be aware. And that's one of the main questions that you're asked if you go into programs, if you go to conferences. Who is your competition? Make your competition your partner if possible. And it's not always possible, but make your competition your partner if you can. They may need help. So you want to just see who the players are in this field. So if you don't win, you find out, okay, look, I didn't win. Whether the agency tells you didn't win, you clearly see you didn't win, it's already been announced, it's been sent via email, you want a debrief every single time. Now, if it states on the website or it states in the solicitation that the lowest bid technically acceptable is the winner. If they say that and you clearly see that the lowest bidder on this opportunity actually won, then maybe not ask for a debrief. But it's good. It's a good practice to ask for a debrief. They may say it was your price. And I've had students tell me that they asked for a debrief and they were told by the contracting officer, you had the best proposal, but you weren't the lowest price. And we can only go by what it states that's the lowest price. It's not, the agency is saying it's not me that's making this decision. It's, whatever the funding is for that city or that county or whatever the case may be, or even the federal, we have to go with the lowest bidder, period. Even though you had the best proposal. So you always want, and that's a little boost of confidence, you know what I mean? Like you might think that you're not doing a good job with your proposals, but you are, it's just your price. And so when it comes to price, as another side note, if you notice that every time you go after an opportunity and it's one industry and you're always a higher price, you may consider not going after any more of those type of opportunities, for one, or for two, you may only go after best value and just look through the solicitation. The first thing you may want to look for after you realize it's a janitorial or whatever the case, or education, you're like, they're looking for best value. So I'm only going to go after best value. I'm not going to go after the lowest bidder contracts anymore. Because lowest bidder can still be $1 million. I've gone after multiple lowest bidder multi-million-dollar contracts. So that doesn't mean that it's going to be a super small contract. It just means lowest bidder based on whatever it is that we're talking about, right? So ask for a debrief. Always, they are required, federal and local are required to provide you a debrief. They may give you a written debrief via email. They may call you on the phone. They may, it just really depends. So you always ask. They're technically obligated by law to give you a debrief. Some of them still won't, but that's for you to figure out how far you want to go with it. If you want to talk to your congressman or whomever in order to make sure that they're giving debriefs or write a complaint, so be it, because it may be a very, very important contract to you. So I totally get it. Or you could protest. Protest costs money though. So just in most cases, even at the local level, so make sure that you are willing to make that investment in that time. And then if you do protest and you do end up winning, are you, you're going to be working with the person you protested. So is it worth it? It might be worth it. And that person might quit or get fired. So I'm not saying don't do it, but just know what risks come with that. Also, if you don't win, reach out to the company that won and congratulate them and say, hey, I saw you won this contract. Keep it short and sweet just to see if they're going to actually respond. So I saw you won this contract. I wanted to know if we could be an asset to you. Here's the services we provide. Have a great day. And again, congratulations. Something along those lines. Not those exact words, but something along those lines of introducing yourself, congratulating them, letting them know what you do. You see what they got going on and you would love to partner with them. And you may want to actually bring them into something that you're already doing. You never know. There could be any type of partnership because chances are, especially if you're seeing this company that won, you're seeing them winning a lot of contracts, they may have other work for you. That happens all the time. That happens most of the time, actually. So you want to reach out to these heavy hitter companies that are winning contracts and ask if you can possibly be a sub, or maybe we can go after opportunities together, and my certification will allow me to be a prime and you be my sub, and you're doing essentially most of the work or all the work. So always reach out and congratulate and say, you want to be an asset to them if it's possible. You may be like, oh, I'm glad I didn't win that because I can't do it. But for the most part, that's something that is, everyone pretty much does. And then in addition to that, everyone else that's on that bid tabulation, just reach out to them as well and just introduce yourself. They may have other work that they have, or they may, want to work with you or partner with you, especially if you have your certifications, especially the local certifications, because a lot of times they have to have a certified company to do some work locally. So, try to have those as soon as possible. But even if you don't, they may want to do work with you because whatever reason, they like you, they need help, or whatever the case may be. So reach out to those who also did not win. Now, if they look like, you could kind of tell if there was a bid tabulation that came out, it's not 100%, but if there was, everyone has like the same price, like there was 5 companies that went after this opportunity and everyone's pricing is around the same. You see someone that's way out the charts, or they're way, way, way low. Everyone bid $50,000 or 45 or 60, and then someone bid $1 million, and they may not be the company you want to work with because they may not know what they're doing, or they bid, everyone bid around 50,000 and someone bid 2,000. Then that's super far extreme, of course. So you want to just make sure that you are making a smart decision, reaching out to these companies and look them up online to see, online doesn't tell you everything, but it might tell you, it might be a benefit. Like, okay, I see they're really doing work. I really want to work with them. And then the last thing I want to express is just keep pushing, never stop bidding, never stop networking. That's kind of like a bonus, number 8, but it's a bonus. Never stop pursuing this dream. You can't, you found it for a reason. You're watching these videos. You're probably in a YouTube rabbit hole right now, watching so many videos, hopefully all of my videos, but just making sure that you're figuring out how this process works. So just keep on pushing. You will win. If you keep going, you will win a contract. So just stay the course, continue on, be resilient, and just know that you can do this. You actually can do this. And this is one of the fastest ways to wealth. So until next time, it is your favorite veteran. And I want to remind you guys that we have the GovCon Moneymakers community. Of course, I have my GovConNOW course mentorship program that teaches you about federal, local, and corporate contracting. I have something for my veterans and for those who have never started a business or they're going to be starting a new business in government contracting. I teach about that. You have unlimited access to me. You have access to my past performance if you become one of my students. And also, if you have anything you want me to talk about specifically, please leave it in the comments. I want to hear what you have to say. And if there is anything that I can actually speak to or bring someone on my channel and to speak to it, I'll make sure that I highlight you, the person who was given a suggestion. So until next time, it is your favorite veteran.